All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Sheath Farm with your host Levite Khan. Today we will be reading Deuteronomy chapters 17 through 22. I'm doing 6 of them. They're fairly, short chapters, and for one thing, and I'll do that tomorrow or whenever the next day is that I do this. 23 through 27 then, because 28 is a lot longer than that. And that being said, folks, anyway, I have a little bit of information, and it's stuff that I've actually gone over in an indirect way in the past a number of times. Hey, welcome and Shabbat Shalom to Carolyn Gannon and to Gangster Talks podcast. How you doing? But anyway, rather than babble on here too much, let's go ahead and get this going. Chapter 17 of Deuteronomy. Okay, thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the certain thing that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto the gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put away the evil from among you. If there arise a matter, okay, this is where I was looking forward to, verse 8 on down. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place, which the Lord shall choose, shall shew thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. Okay, verses 8 through 13 is pretty significant to me. And we need to start getting more into that, those of us who are evenly yoked, more like-minded, and we know the scriptures very well. And we're qualified to do this. And stay as far away from the secular authorities as we can. When you have to deal with it and you're given no choice, that's one thing. But, otherwise, look, if you go by the instructions in the Torah, you really should be pretty easy to deal with in society, I would think, anyway, on a practical level. All right, verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, you shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, and he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. That's all 20 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 17. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom to Wilfred Witzke. How you doing? Okay. Some men, even back then, were meant to only have one wife. Some were meant maybe to have two or three. An outstanding case that's a great example of one who had too many. And he also married and were with women who had false gods. And his name, of course, was Solomon. We call him Shlomo in Hebrew, folks. So anyway, let's continue on. Deuteronomy chapter 18. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. And they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the two cheeks, and the maw. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand and minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of the gates out of all Israel, where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, and all his brethren, the Levites, and all his brethren, the Levites, do, which stand before the Lord. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through a fire, or pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom to Tex Haas. How you doing? Oh, no, she's there. She's in bed. Before I move on, Deb is, tired. We've had she's in a lot of pain, even on the Sabbath and that. And so she didn't even advertise, send those notifications. But anyway, before I continue on, too, if somebody's truly doing the work of God and he is to be your minister somehow, he is worthy of being supported. He's worthy of us higher. That's in Timothy too. It's also in the Gospels, just so you know. Anyway, let's go on to verse 13. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. Okay, that's complete, ladies and gentlemen. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto observers of times, and unto diviners, but as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desiredst of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. Okay, before we're going to verse 18, we're getting into a prophecy of Yeshua here. Verse 18, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. It's all 22 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 18. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom to Nicole CB. How you doing? All right. Let's keep this moving. Deuteronomy chapter 19. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way and divide the coasts of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past, as when a man goeth unto the wood, when his neighbor, with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die, he shall flee unto one of the cities and live, lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him. Whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for 3 beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of a city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, in the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother. Then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. It's all 21 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 19. Get right through this. Let's do Deuteronomy chapter 20, shall we? When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace, and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all the city, and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance. Then shalt save, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. That they teach you not to do after all their abominations which they have done unto their gods, so should ye sin against the Lord your God. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time, and making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them. For thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. All right. It's all 20 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 20. I'm looking at the chat here. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom to Craig Hayden. How you doing? So we're moving along pretty well. Let me check something here quick. What the heck was that? Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway. Okay, let's go to chapter 21. Keep this moving. Deuteronomy chapter 21. If one be found slain in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who hath slain him, then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take an heifer, which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke, in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them the Lord thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of the Lord. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands did not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be merciful, O Lord, unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Lord. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And if it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. Well, there's a little bit of mercy there for that virgin woman, folks, and to give her a month, basically approximately 30 days to go ahead and, bewail her family that was killed in battle. Anyway, let's keep moving on here. Verse 15, if a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. Before I continue on to verse 17, the King James, it doesn't mean the man hates one and loves the other. It just simply means that he loves one wife more than the other. That's what's going on there. The language they used back in the day of the 1600s of their writing, and it was even different with their verbal, just so you know that. Anyway, continue on to verse 17. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto him, or hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of the city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of a city, This is our son. Elders of a city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear in fear. Okay, before I go on to verse 22, we're not talking a little child of 5, 10, probably even up to 12 years old, okay? They have to be old, from what I know of the history outside of the canon, they're older than that. They're not 20 yet, but, they're basically in their teens. I don't know about any of you, but when I was in my teens, I'm kind of glad this wasn't the case in America. I would have been stoned a long time ago. Praise God for his mercy today, too. Anyway, verse 22, and if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day, for he that is hanged and is accursed of God, that thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. That's all 23 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 21. Keep in mind that Yeshua had to be brought down. Those other two thieves, they were broken the kneecaps. They and the reason why is because even if you're hung up like that, folks, you're over like this, okay? You don't have a choice about it. You're going to be lifting yourself up to breathe. You may not even realize you're doing it consciously. You'll be in so much pain. They break your kneecaps, it's over. There's no way you can do it, and you will drown in your fluid very quickly. Now, as the scriptures prophesy in the Tanakh here later, they have, Yeshua didn't have one bone broken. He gladly gave up his human spirit. He willingly did. I don't know about gladly, but he willingly did it. He gave up the ghost, as the King James reads. Also, I wanted to make a comment too about the other chapter. Family is put first. And you know how they're saying about the guy going to be able to eat off his own fruit before he goes off into war and possibly his KIA. Before he, because he could be unalived in a battle. And gets to see his wife, gets to see his kid, blah, blah, blah. That tells you right there that family has to be first. You need your own ducks in a row in your own family in order for a nation to make it, as an average. So I wanted to bring that up earlier, and I just kept reading. Well, let's do the last chapter for us here in this live stream, and then I'll get to some information here. Chapter 22. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brothers, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. Isn't that interesting? I knew that was coming. And obviously this goes from culture to culture. There are some similarities, some things that are universal. But a lot of people don't care in America now, sadly. Anyway, verse 6. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young, but thou shalt in any wise let the dam go and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. When thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with divers seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of divers sorts, as of woolen and linen together, as in various or many sorts. Okay, they don't want you mixing woolen and linen and all that, and cloth. And anyway, verse 12. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of the vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. If any man take a wife and go in unto her, and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. Yep. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Well, that's pretty blatant adultery, isn't it? If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then he shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and he shall stone them with stones that they die, the damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you. And if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. Okay, that's rape, folks. Verse 26. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death, for as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. That's an emphasization, and that's all 30 verses of chapter 22 of Deuteronomy. And some of the stuff is explicit enough, and that's the way it needs to be to make it clear to people. So, and there are a couple of cases where you can't divorce the woman. Karioth is divorce in Hebrew. So that being said, I hope everybody's doing all right. Take a look here. Take a look at some things here. All right. Let me read the chat here. Okay. All right. When I'm looking at this, folks, some things going on, and I know I've talked about this in times past. How many of you remember? I'm not sure. But oh, brother, and I have to just. This just has to happen, does it? Here's the one thing. We'll go over this first before the subject I'm actually on, because now they're burning books and stuff, or we know about it now, and they don't want us to have the original history and some of the remedies and so on. Before we do that, I've talked about former President Joe Biden. He has prostate cancer, and we'll look at some stats here. I'll get them on here. Success rate of treating colon cancer here. He's really in big. His days are limited now. let's it's changed a little bit. They've changed it, but it's still a pretty good success rate. I'll put it on here. We'll read up on it a little bit. All right. Here's the thing. Okay, the overall 5-year related survival rate for colon cancer is about 63 to 65%. When caught early, while it is still localized, the 5-year survival rate rises to about 91%. If the cancer is spread to distant parts of the body, the rate drops to roughly 13 to 16%. All right. Now you can look up a lot of different things, okay? Localized stage 1 or early 2, 91%. Regional stage 3 or spread to nearby lymph nodes, 73 to 74%, still pretty good. But when you're in the distant stage 4 and metastatic, it's pretty low here. What I find really interesting is, and I'm giving you rates. I mean, you can look it up in more detail, obviously. To my knowledge, between the Pope in Italy, Rome there, and the President of the United States, and probably Russia with Putin and them, I mean, who knows? They get the best, supposedly the best medical care in the entire world. There's no competition really that I know of. But they let this go, or will something happen? How could they have missed that? Was that done on purpose? I just have to ask. But let's play this on one of the Fox channels. Oh no, Ayla, please don't do that to me now. Just lay down. I'm gonna have to take her out. All right, let's get this. It's live now from Fox, and I'll put the link down. Listen to this 2-minute and 34-second video. Oops, sorry.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We do have a bit of breaking news that I want to get to you here on this Saturday. A sad update that's coming there from former President Joe Biden. Putting this up on your screen as we have a live look at the White House. But this just coming in a short time ago that former U.S. President Joe Biden's prostate cancer has now spread to other parts of his body and is causing him pain, even as he continues to speak out on public issues, according to his son, Hunter Biden. That information came from an interview that Hunter Biden did with BBC broadcast late on Friday. Hunter Biden grew emotional as he discussed his father's condition, describing it as very sad to watch. Joe Biden, of course, is 83 years old. He was the oldest man to serve as U.S. president, and his age was a source of concern for many throughout his 4 years in office. He and his White House advisors have faced intense criticism for allegedly concealing the extent of his problems, especially after he was forced to abandon his bid for re-election after a disastrous debate with his eventual successor, Donald Trump. Once again, though, we did hear a little bit more from Hunter Biden, who said that the diagnosis has now been tough on the family. Hunter went on to say that it's really sad to watch. The only thing I'd say about my dad, about his health right now, is that I wish he would complain more because it's not good. The former president, though, did reveal his cancer diagnosis in May of last year, less than 4 months after he left the White House. But again, we'll continue to keep you updated with the latest information. But this all coming from former U.S. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, in an interview now revealing that Joe Biden's prostate cancer has spread to other parts of his body and is causing him pain. I do want to put this up on the screen. We also have this tweet in from Fox News, shedding a bit more light on this situation. We do know that Hunter has described Biden's condition as, quote, very painful and very debilitating, but again, says that his father is, quote, still doing his thing, and says that his father is still going to attend speaking engagements. The former president, again, revealed this aggressive prostate cancer diagnosis May of 2025, just shortly after leaving the White House. And so we'll keep you updated here on Live Now from Fox as we learn more, if there's any other public reaction as well, and any other updates from former President Biden himself or his wife, Jill, on the president's health.
A lot of people put...
Hold on. Get rid of this. I'll have to put the link up. Keep safer with YouTube. All right. Let me. Okay, folks, I'm going to undo my camera here in a second. I may have to take my big dogs out again. Take a couple minutes to do that. Get rid of that. How could they have missed that? Why do they keep putting him out there to do speaking engagements when he's way out in law land? That is so pathetic. Just keeping on a psychological level, not even counting spiritual. These people are psychopaths. I mean, wow, he should just, like I said, all the people that I'd love to see prosecuted, and we won't. I've always said, just leave the old boy alone. He's exactly where he needs to be. And, and what do you do? Oh, yeah, no doubt. They're, Hoss, I'm in agreement with you there. So, okay. Ayla's looking at me, but she's being quiet. I'm going to try this here. Hold on a second. There is a thing. Let me look on my phone, and then I can copy it on Google pretty easily, I would think. Let's see here. Because they're destroying old books, folks. They're paying money to take your books if they're really old, paying you good money, and they're destroying it. There's videos on this out there, too. I knew this was coming. Okay. Operation Panama destroying books. I think that should do it. We just do Operation Panama. Go back to 1989, which has nothing to do with the subject. When the Muslims were going nuts there at the time. Anyway, let me get this on for you. I will share this. There we are. Okay. Project Panama was a secret internal initiative by the AI company Anthropic to purchase millions of physical books in bulk, slice off their bindings using hydraulic cutting machines, scan the loose pages at high speeds, and recycle the remaining paper to train its Claude AI models. Okay, what they're doing is they're taking in the information for themselves. Keep that in mind. Clean data need. The open internet has become saturated with AI-generated text. Pre-2022 printed books provide uncontaminated, high-quality human language, scale and secrecy. Internal memos, unsealed in court documents stated the goal was to destructively scan all the books in the world while keeping the operation hidden from the public. I can't believe even AI is admitting this. Bulk acquisition. Anthropic bought tens of thousands of volumes at a time from secondhand vendors like Better World Books and World of Books. The legal status, fair use ruling. A federal judge ruled that because the company legally purchased the physical books, converting them into digital files and then destroying the original copies constituted transformative fair use rather than copyright infringement. Broader controversy. While the digital conversion of legally bought print copies passed legal scrutiny, the mass physical destruction of literature and simultaneously separate legal troubles over digital prophecy sparked severe backlash from authors and cultural preservationists. All right. And of course, you can see there's videos on this, short videos. I watched the one that was a little longer. Let me look. I might put on Doug. I think I haven't seen it, but by the, what do you call it? By the looks of the title, Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy might have something on that. I thought. Here's the thing, folks. If they're doing it with all those books, how many Bibles are they destroying? That's my Maybe I didn't look at his stuff right. I mean, if I did, I'll put it on. And, you definitely should subscribe to Doug and Stacy. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Okay, from 3 days ago. Let me get this. Commercials here. Hold on. Another commercial. Okay. Here's that's my point. They might have digital. We have a lot of sources right now, even online. You've seen me use Bible Hub. You've seen me use Bible Gateway. I've been thinking about installing eSword, which is the best that I know of. The next best one to me anyway would be Bible Hub. It might be good to download that stuff. But how many books, how many Bibles are they destroying? How many old-time remedy books are they destroying? You see on Zach Bauer, I guess I'm not on his. I'm subscribed to him, but I'm not on his Patreon, where they have those 2 older books of remedies and stuff of how to use it for healing and that. And so that being said, I knew this was coming. I've always encouraged people, one, to buy old books that are meaningful, whether it's history or remedies, mainly, and two, to download them. And the way to go about it that I know of, there's many ways, but the one thing I do or have done in the past, and I want to do it again, is go to flea markets. You'd be surprised. I bought a simple history book from there. That's not, it's large print. It's very elementary. It's from a year and a half ago I bought it. That book's, I think, older than I am. So, anyway, let's get this on. Let's play this. It's new to me too, even though it's the second to their newest video. And okay, data center caught destroying books. Let's see how this goes, folks.
Anthropic must now pay $1.5 billion to authors and publishers who say their books were taken without permission. A lawsuit accuses the AI company of downloading pirated copies of 480,000 books.
All right, we're going to get right into it. We are living in the strangest of times. What a time to be alive. I'm out here working on some bundles for the woodlot because winter is right around the corner. This year is flying by. Let me know down in the comments if you think this year's flying by. But today we're going to talk about Anthropic and what they're doing to books. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but it's called Project Panama. Imagine that. Just like Project Paperclip and Operation Mockingbird, all these things have these secret covert names. And a leaked Anthropic document came out, and in their own words, they said, Project Panama is our effort to destructively scan all the books in the world. In the next line, they said, we do not want it to be known that we are working on this. That's a leaked document from the court case that has made its way through the courts.
Anthropic must now pay $1.5 billion to authors and publishers who say their books were taken without permission. A lawsuit accuses the AI company of downloading pirated copies of 480,000 books to help develop its AI chatbot. The judge agreed. This billion-dollar settlement is now the largest copyright payout in U.S. history.
They plan to shred every book on the planet in secret. And it all starts with theft, apparently. Anthropic stole 7 million books from pirate sites to train Claude. Claude is another AI system, in case you didn't know, because their CEO said paying authors was too much of a slog. That means it just slowed them down to try to negotiate with all the authors to pay for the copyright of their books. When they started getting sued, guess who they hired? They hired, this is great, the ex-head of Google Books and sent him to publishers to ask for permission, and publishers said no. That's when they found the loophole. Buy millions of real physical books, cut the spines off with a hydraulic blade, scan the loose pages, and throw what's left in recycling. One vendor actually offered to destroy 2 million books in 6 months. That's 11,000 books per day. You can go look this stuff up. Bart's versus Anthropic. It's public information because it was a lawsuit filed. It must have been important to them because they spent tens of millions of dollars in a year They bought books from secondhand sellers, including Better World Books and World of Books. Datamation Imaging Services put out a flyer as well. Project description: Anthropic is seeking an experienced document scanning service vendor to convert from 500,000 to 2 million books over a 6-month period. Customers will deliver books in blacked out, and the purpose of conversion services to provide it to our SOC Type 2 audited facility in Willowbrook, Illinois. Oh, Illinois, isn't that interesting? Project assessment and conversion requirements. Books may be new or used, built, but in good condition. Conversion services to be provided by an experienced vendor in a secure facility. Books will be delivered in blank over a 6-month period from January to July 2024. Datamation conversion process. Based on our experience, scanning books below is the process we plan to follow for your project. Books will be delivered to the Datamation in blank. Pallets will be assigned to receive date and unique barcode tracking number. If necessary, remove any protective covers or bindings that may be impeding the scanning process. Utilize a hydraulic-powered cutting machine tool for books will be neatly cut to prepare for scanning. A barcode separator sheet will be placed in between each book to mark the first page of the book. And on this goes. You guys can see the document right here on your screen. I just found this very interesting and wanted to bring it to your attention. Maybe some of you guys have known about this. Share this video with your friends. This is the modern day equivalent of book burning. And what they do is they erase these old books and then they start rewriting history. Okay, this has happened over and over again in the history of America and the world, actually. So you can easily look into that and find out for yourself. Also, Stacy and I also recommend that if you guys can get books from 1920s, mid-20s and later, those are going to be gold, because they really started messing with books again from what we found in our own research. So that might be something that you want to look into. We've got a lot of old books, especially about our lifestyle, animal care, even pharmaceutical stuff, so that can help us guide ourselves in a modern world to stay away from the big pharma plan and all this other stuff, right? But that might be something that you want to look into. And one thing that I've noticed when I'm looking at older books, they're starting to get really expensive. And that might be another play to keep you away from those books so they can scan them and put them in the AI. But this is crazy, y'all. This is 1984, real life happening right before your very eyes. Stay vigilant out there. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget, we're giving away a Lycan 5000. If you want to enter to win, go to offgridwithdougandsstacy.com, hit the shop tab. Every $5 you spend at our store gets you an entry into the contest. Also, in the first comment under this video, I'll also give you a way to apply to the contest if you don't want to spend any money at our store. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next video. All right. Come back. Oh, it makes me nervous. Hila is not making any sounds, but she's just staring at me. Anyway, oh yeah, this is the other recommendation I've always given, and I do this every day. Because you can be a historian, be a diarist, a journal keeper, call it what you will, a log. It's up to the critical reader after I'm dead and gone. Or if I'm too old and okay, so she's not so quiet anymore. Or I'm too old and decrepit to care. And I want, let somebody else read that kind of stuff. I do put things down
on a personal level, what goes on at the homestead with Deb and I, the dogs, the chickens, some of the, once in a while if I talk to a neighbor, blah, blah, blah. I talk about national events, international events, Iran, AI data centers, on and on. And look, if a lot of you are doing that, that validates the history right there. And yeah, we may have differing opinions about it, and that's where the critical reader. Of course, my opinion is never wrong. I'm sure you all know that, right? Okay, so it's a bad joke, but anyway, and I would put full names. I don't always do it. Sometimes if I'm writing about President Trump, I'll just put Trump or Donald Trump, or I'll put President Donald John Trump. It just depends. But I put down their full names, Joseph Bernadette Biden Jr., Kamala Debbie Harris is the vice president. On down, it was Nancy Pelosi, and I don't remember her full name now, but I put it down, and when she was the Speaker of the House, and then it got to be Kevin McCarthy, and then Mike Johnson. I'm just giving you tips. I don't care if you suck at it, but it's boring writing. It doesn't matter. We all have our snoozer moments that, as far as writing goes, no matter how good or bad you are. And keep those things protected, very protected. So, but try to get some of these books. You see, that's another reason why, guys, that Deb and I are having a very difficult time, and that we may have to let that one storage space in another state go. We have books, that are probably fairly recent, sure, but we have books from the 1500s and stuff that are in there, and that I got for really cheap. All the way back when we were living in Phoenix, Arizona, was when I was doing Google Hangout with my readings back then, and that. And so, and Goku's bothering me here. He needs to go out. Kakarot's being the most well-behaved. But, you get my point. We may not have the Word of God available to us. I think they want to take it. They're making laws very difficult. I know our Canadian counterparts, it's not good up there. Not at all, folks. With the laws they're making about the Bible and hate speech and hate reading and whatever. And you want to keep those old-time Bibles that are, and I can give recommendations on translations that you should have. Obviously, King James is one of them. I use it the most right now. I do like it. I advocate for it, but it's not the only one for me. I could care less if NIV went out of print and everything was gone. That wouldn't bother me in the least. But, I don't know. Maybe there's a purpose for it. I don't know. Okay. Take care, Hoss. Thanks for stopping by. And this is to drum people down. They don't get the right readings. They can't find out real history and do their own thinking and their own opinions of it. And that includes the Word of God. And so that being said, folks, I think a lot of you know the reasons why this is going on. And we need to keep track and be historians ourselves, like I said, journal keepers, diarists, whatever. But folks, I do have to get going and get my 3 big dogs out one last time tonight. I do appreciate you being here. It's pretty much Shabbat is over. It's pretty dark out. So belated Shabbat Shalom to everyone by now. I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you for doing that. I'm always appreciative of it. In the meantime, stay safe out there. Stay on your guards. Keep your heads on your swivels. Peace. Shalom. The Levite man is out of here until the next time.